What's going on, everybody? This be your boy DJ Alumnus for sportsbizmusic, the podcast, episode 85. And I got two special guests on the show today. I got my boy Justin A. Hill and the alumni of the show, Fat Swaggy Bastard. How you doing, bro?
How you doing, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm fine.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So before we get into everything, all the questions and stuff like that, introduce yourself to the people. Everybody already know you, but you can reintroduce yourself.
Justin, go first. You already.
All right, my name is Justin Hill. I'm born and raised in South Florida, 26 years old. And I went to school down here, high school, college, everything. Mm-hmm. We actually founded the Come With Threat movement on Facebook.
Okay.
Like it was just a Facebook post, and it just started to pick up from there. I tried to speak a lot on mental health. Mm-hmm. Across South Florida with NAMI, with doing my own, and advocacy with that as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's really about it. Just trying to get my voice out there, get our own voice out there.
Right. So tell us about the beginnings. What made you want to become, activist, advocate.
Probably for mental health, it's my own dealings with it. Mm-hmm. I've dealt with it probably when I got out of high school. I noticed that something was different mentally, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I never really took into account what's anxiety, what's depression or whatnot. And, I just started to do my own research as I got more, aware of it. Mm-hmm. And then just wanted to take that step to have my voice heard as well as others, to be honest with you.
That's what's up, because, we, especially now, in 2019, a lot of people are starting to be more open about, mental health,
especially blacks in our community as well.
Right, because me and my wife, we always talk about it. I had to battle through depression, middle school, high school, trying to be this perfect student and stuff.
But you never knew what you were dealing with, basically.
Right. Yeah. So when I was in, I think it was college, and I took a psychology class, I'm like, damn.
I'm really messed up.
Yeah, I was fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
That's real.
And I think it's that step was when we realized that, we're messed up. Mm-hmm. Once you reach that step, it was I'm messed up, I need help, something is different about me. That's when I think we all take that initiative to make change. Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
You buddy.
I was gonna say, I just think in general, when you talk about people who grew up in a certain lifestyle in the inner city, mm-hmm. when you think about it, that's its own form of post-traumatic stress. The mm-hmm. things that we see that we shouldn't be seeing, mm-hmm. things that we experience that we shouldn't be experiencing at a young age. I don't know if y'all remember in a movie where it was you want to see a dead body. Children are asking that question.
Boys in the hood.
Yeah, those are kids asking that question. Yeah. You shouldn't be a kid asking you that question. And obviously, in that moment, we didn't think nothing of it. We just thought it was a dope moment. But in reality, that says how off we really are mentally mm-hmm. to grow up and think that's okay. Mm-hmm. To think that as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old boy, we should be interested in going to see a dead body, which is really just a person mm-hmm. who's just killed in the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's something we kind of suffer with on a day-to-day, just being in the neighborhoods that we grow up in, Do you think about it.
But do y'all think social media make it kind of worse? In general, we have all these videos and stuff?
I think social media piggybacks on it. The reason why I say that, because I believe us as black males here,
right,
we're born into mm-hmm. depression. We're born into mental illness, and the reason why I say that is because all the stuff that we're born into. You know what I mean? There's some that have the nuclear household family of the mother and the father, mm-hmm. and then there's some that don't. There's some who moms have to work 9 to 5, get off mm-hmm. work a nighttime job. There's no dad in the crib, so who is really raising that kid?
Right.
The streets, right? Mm-hmm. You have that aspect, and then you have school. School doesn't have the necessary resources for us to prosper in education, prosper outside of the classroom and everything. That's more stress. Mm-hmm. And then you have the basic element of post-traumatic stress mm-hmm. from slavery, bro.
Right.
I personally believe that is brought down for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have all that. And then, as black males, we have to go out and say, all right, bro, stay safe. we know it's still safe.
That was always programming our brains.
That's programming our brain and say, all right, bro, stay safe. You know what I mean? And we know what that means. We drive in our cars. They're like, damn, a cop. Now what? You know what I'm saying? And us as black males, all three of us stand big in stature, so we have to legit be on our P's and Q's all the time, and that's more stress on us.
Absolutely. It's just a danger. It's just a danger that we constantly live in, even when we don't want to live in it. Even when we're having a good moment, we kind of always have in the back of our minds to look over our shoulders. You know what I mean? I remember when I first turned 21, I didn't get it, but years later I got it. When my older brother's friend was like, bro, I ain't got no money for you, I ain't got no gifts, but I'm going to say, you're at a point that not many people make it to. That's all he said. I didn't get it at the time. Then I turned 25. And I started noticing the numbers dwindling of people who don't make it to that age. And that's when I started to understand what he really meant. Like, to get to a certain age is a milestone, which is kind of... Of course, it is a milestone in itself, but it's also like, why is that such a milestone? Just to get to 21.
Yeah, just like, why can't we just live our life like peacefully? Like, I think about crazy shit, but you think about, you talked about slavery. Like now you have so many people being so open about it. Like in terms of like, they like. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. Like, we don't have no culture. Like, there's some people that's like that. Like, we ain't got no heritage because we was brought from West Africa, and then we all spread it out through the Caribbean and stuff, and then we all came over here, in America and stuff like that. And it always started like a healthy debate that we should always have. Like for me, my family came from my dad's side. They came from Georgia and stuff like that, so they was close to slavery.
My parents,
So and then
close to slavery than those who were,
right. And then
Jamaican and Haitian, something like that.
Then like the same thing with my mom. Like on her side, like my grandma's from the Bahamas. Like her family's from the Bahamas, so it's like
closer to their heritage.
So it's just like when I was asking my mom, like, because I was in the 10th grade and I was taking a history class, and one of the things that I ain't know at the time until I was in the 10th grade was that the British colony was over the island at one point. So I asked my mom, like, do we get?
And I think they still are, right?
No, they just broke out of it like in the 70s. So it's still recent. You know what I'm saying? Like Haiti, like it was like the first one to get free from that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but I was asking my mom, like, do we have like ancestors that's like from England and stuff? She was like, some was good, some was bad because the whole slavery shit was going on. It was a war over the island and shit. So it's just that you have like the American black, the black folks that got like fully American. Sometimes they think about like, damn, like I don't have really nowhere else to go. Even if I go back to Africa, they not gonna respect us, and it's true because like I met certain Africans and like I kind of feel where they coming from because like some of them look at us like, now y'all Americanized shit. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all Westernized.
Okay. So my thing is, as a Haitian, right? I've heard that sentiment before.
Right. That's
definitely like, you're not African American, you're Haitian.
Yeah.
My thing is that cops ain't asking that question when they busting.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can say that all you want to, but when the push comes to shove, your support system are the people who share that same that same struggle with you. And if you're gonna push them aside, then you're gonna have to fight that fight alone. And that's not real. Like my mom used to tell me that, and there's no fault of her own. I think she was raised that same way. You're not African American, you're Haitian, but it's like, look, mom, we all look the same.
Still black.
Like the danger is still danger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can't be ignorant just because we come from a different type of black, I guess you could say.
Right.
You know what I mean? We all kind of have to carry that burden living here in the United States. And so why not carry that burden together? Why not support each other? Why not push together so we can break that narrative? You know?
Yeah, like
the reason why that is, bro. And me and you talk about this all the time. It's the most successful tactic ever. Divide and conquer.
Right.
And divide and conquer has been successful since before the establishment of America, before the establishment of all these government stuff like that. But it's been successfully maneuvered into us because we have, I believe, because we have so many different ancestries of black. There's Haitian, there's Bahamian. You have those in Africa. You have black Brazilians. So we have that divide and conquer mentality with like instilled in us. You know, you have the Willie Lynch theory that talks about light skin, dark skin,
right?
The weaker male, the stronger male, the house slave and the field slave. All that is just divide and conquer. Now, can you just imagine if all of us came together as a collective?
It would be unstoppable.
Dude, there will be no other race but us. We're so strong, bro. Like, we are a strong race. I mean, you got the first island, a small island, bro, took over a whole freaking slave masters in America. In Haiti, and then got out of slavery. You know what I mean? But then again, on the contrary of that, they've been raped by France.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and they just paid off their debts 300 years later.
That's crazy.
So like like that divide and conquer mentality is something that legit has to change with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I grew up. You know, we all grew up in South Florida and Miami in particular, melting pot. But it's like
still one of the most segregated cities. In the
yes, people understand. Like, one of my best friends, he went up to the African American Museum in D.C. And like, the one thing I never get, what people always say about like Miami, South Florida, they was like, oh, we like New York or the South and this and that. But I'm like, it's still the South. Like, my granddad and my grandma used to always tell me, like, you know, because my granddad's from Overtown and my grandma's from like the Porky Beans. My granddad, he always told me, he was like, hey, if you was from Overtown, you was from Overtown. If you was from like the Porky Beans or any other area, especially if you like a white person from like North Miami, used to have a lot of white people back in the day.
I believe that.
Like, and he used to say, like, it was certain places you couldn't even go to, certain like towns and cities.
Old girl told me the same thing.
Yeah, so it's like, when you look at like how Florida was back in the day, like it still is, but it's more.
You see it now. Man.
You see it, but it's kind of more friendlier in terms of like people are more mingling. Like our generation, I feel like they call us the millennials. Like we the one who kind of broke that barrier of like, all right, I could be cool with this Cuban, I could be cool with this Haitian, even though I'm Bahamian. I could be cool with this white folk, cracker, like how we like to say it down here. But it's just like people don't realize like, the true history that we have down here. Like they don't know that down in Miami and up in Pompano that we got like walls, and them walls was like to keep the black folks away and hitting from like everyone else when everybody come down.
Bro, the same thing with Bings. They have a wall that separate, I think, the Bings from Adapado.
Yeah.
Because I know Anderson had a lot of white folk there too.
Yeah, back in the day.
They had a lot of white folk, and I think that wall was to divide the Bings in that area. I'm not too sure, but I know it was something like that. And there's another wall, like you said, in Broward. I think that's on County Line.
Yeah,
that wall is from County Line on 203rd, and that separates the gardens from there. Yeah,
I know about that wall, but I know it's one Pompano that I ain't even peep until like I like, damn, that is the one. Like it's another one. Like it's so many like walls.
And then the wild thing about it is this stuff is not that long ago.
Right. No, it was just like yesterday. It was like in the 70s, 80s, 60s.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I always ask the older folks, besides like my grandparents, of course, and that was like Miami was pretty much like, South Florida in general was like the Alabama. Like, you had different people all segregated in different sections, like Hialeah, Miami Lakes. Right. There was a whole bunch of white people over there, like all them. You see, like they still have farms and stuff over there, like. It was crackers over there. Yeah. We was all stuck, in the inner city of Miami. That's why I always tell people when you come down here to South Florida, that's when you hear when you go in the inner city, that's like the real Miami, like the outskirts of
beaches in Miami, bro.
And that's another thing that's just getting me aggravated. Like when I was 18.